Alright, so I'm gonna try to make this really quick. Uh, it might keep focusing and unfocusing. Oh wait, no, never mind. Haha, got it. Alright, so we'll start with 23 and let's just say 5, 6, 4, 3, 2. It doesn't even matter, the numbers that are on there. Alright, so this could be read as this number right here divided by, which is your box right here, 23. Alright, so now I have to see what can 23 go into for these ones here, because this is what I have to use to break all this up. Alright, so 23 in itself is smaller than 56. Alright, that should always be your first question to yourself. Is the number that you're working with smaller than the first equal set of numbers that you have to divide by or divide into? Alright, so 23 has 2 digits, so I have to do the first 2 digits that I have here, which is 56. Like I said, 23 is less than 56, so now I have to see how many times the 23 can go into that. Alright, 3 would obviously be too much, so I'm going to say that it's 2. So 23 times 2 equals 46. Alright, so this is how many times that it'll go into it. So I'm going to put my 2 right here, and then I'm going to put 23 underneath it. I'm sorry, no, 46. I'm going to put 46 underneath it, and then I'm going to subtract those two. Alright, which gives me 1, 0. Alright, and then I'm going to bring down the 4. You always bring down the next number that you have to work with. So that's going to be 104. Alright, so 5 is too much, so because I know that 5 times 20 is 100, so I'm going to try 4. So let's do 23 times 4 equals 21892. Alright, so I'm going to put the 4 right here because that's the next one that I got, and I'm bringing it down. Alright, I'm going to put 92 right here, and I'm going to subtract these. Okay, so that's a 2, and this is, I'll make that into a 10, so that's 12. Okay, so 12, the step that I missed here, 12 can't go into 23 can't go into 12 because it is bigger than that. Alright, so each time that you're moving down, you have to see how many times that this number can go into what's left. Alright, if it can go into that, then you try to subtract it out and multiply it, all that good stuff. But if it's less than that, which it is, alright, I need to see how many times I need to add another digit to it. Alright, just like we did up here, these ones works fine, so I would have it right here. In this case, I'm going to bring down my 3. Alright, so now I got 123. Okay, so I know already that 23 times 4 equals 92, so I'm trying to see how many times 23 will go into 123 at this point. Alright, that's the next one that I'm working with. So let's take 23 times 5. Alright, so it's 5, 1, 10, 115. Alright, so 115 is definitely the highest number that can go into this. So just to show you, if I wanted to see what it would be, I would add another 23 to it, and that is 138. So that's definitely too big for that one. Alright, so I just added another one right here, so that's the equivalent of times 6. Okay, so this is too big to go into 123, so I have to stop at 23 times 5, which gives me 115. So I write my 5 up here because that's the digit that I'm working with. Okay, you have to try to make sure that you keep everything lined up, because as soon as stuff doesn't stay in line, then you lose track really quick. Alright, so I got 115. So same thing like the other ones, I'm going to subtract this out. Okay, so 3 can't go into 5, so I got to borrow 1. So 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And these are all 1s, so these all cancel out. Okay, so these are technically zeros, but you don't write those, so it's fine. All right, and then so the last digit that I have, because 23 can't go into 8, all right, it's too small, and I still have digits to work with, so I'm going to bring down my next one. So this is 82. Okay, now I have to see how many times 23 will go into 82. So I already know that 23 times 4 is 92, so that's way too big. I haven't tried 3 yet. 23 times 3, so let's check that out. 23 times 3 equals 9 and 6. Alright, so 69 is the number that I get. Alright, I'm going to write that down there, and this number I'm going to write up here. Okay, so pretend that these aren't here, and I'm going to subtract this out. Alright, take away 9 doesn't work, so I got to borrow 1. So 12 minus 9 is 3. I still have 7 over here, so 7 minus 6 is 1. So I have 13 that I still have to work with. However, I'm out of digits. Alright, so we're not, in this case, adding a decimal point. Alright, if I was to go past this right here, past the end of my line right here, then I would turn it into digits. Alright, which we are not doing. So we are stopping right here. Alright, so now this is my remainder. I have remainder 13. Okay, so my answer is 2453. 2453, remainder 13. Okay, so this is my answer that they're looking for. Like I said, if they wanted decimal points, then you would keep adding zeros at that point and try to see what else you could get. Okay, so just to briefly go back over it, 23, you have to see how many times this number will go into the first 2 digits, because this is a 2-digit number. If this was 3 digits, then I would have to look at the first 3 numbers that are here and see how many times that would be able to go into it. Alright, but right now it's only 2 digits, so I see how many times it's 23 can go into 56. We determined that was 2. So 23 times this number up here is 46. Alright, this is the work that we did right here. So then I take 56 minus 46. Okay, that gave me 104. Or I'm sorry, that gave me 10. And because 23 won't fit into 10, all right, and I still have extra digits to work with, I'm just going to bring down another one, make this number bigger. And now I'm trying to see how many times 23 can go into 104. All right, and so we determined that that was 4 times, because 5 is too many. You can see here that that's 115. So we wrote the 4. So now 4 times 23 equals 92. So you would subtract this to see how many more you still have left. We got 12 from that. 23 can't go into 12 because it's too small. We still have extra digits. We bring down the next one. So now it's 123. So we worked out that that was 23 times 5 equals 115. So I'm going to put my 5 up here because that's the number I'm multiplying by. And so 5 times 23. So once again, I'm coming back over here. So 5 times 23 equals 115. And I'm going to subtract that from the number that I have right here. So I had to borrow some numbers because of the 3 right here. You have 3, take away 5, you got to borrow from the 2. So that's 13 minus 5, which is 8. Okay. And then we had 23 can't go into 8. Remember, these ones canceled out, so just forget about those. Those would be zeros. So when you have a 0 in front of a number, you don't write it. Okay, you just forget about that one. We still had extra digits, so we got to make sure that we use all the digits. So we bring that down. It's kind of like right here, actually. So I'll bring it down to the 2, so that was 82. Trying to see how many times 23 will go into 82. And so we determined that that was 3 times. We write our 3 up here. 3 times 23 equals 69. We do our subtraction, so 82 minus 69. We had to borrow from the 8, which is what we got going on here. All right, so 12 minus 9 equals 3. 7 minus 6 equals 1. So this is the main number that they're looking for with a remainder of 13. Okay, so you can rewind it and look back at the steps again a little bit slower if you need to.